Hello, hello, and welcome to the Finding the Unicorn in You podcast. What a beautiful day to inspire lives. My name is Dr. Jaime G, Raygoza, your host, and I'm so excited to have you here. Let's get ready to meet some fantastic unicorns and learn how to unleash the inner unicorn in you. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Finding the Unicorn in You. It is the end of 2023, and I am still amazed at how fast we came to this point. I still remember talking to my friend, hey, I think I'm going to start a podcast. I know it sounds like a crazy idea, and I just feel like it's something I want to do. 80 episodes later, here we are. And I have met so many beautiful souls and smart individuals that have truly inspired me to be better versions of myself. And it's been such an amazing experience to just even think about how I had an immense amount of imposter syndrome wanting to start this podcast. And people are now reaching out to me from different states, different cities, even different countries wanting to come onto the podcast. It's been a process where the first couple episodes I was reaching out to every single friend and asking them like, hey, do you know anybody who may be a good fit for the podcast? To now I have people on a wait list for not even season 3, but season 4. And it's been such a mind-blowing experience, and I'm truly thankful from the bottom of my heart for every single person that reaches out to me and for every single person that has come on and is even on the wait list right now to be on here. And if I'm only a person of one, so if I had more hands and more time, I would definitely bring all of you on and interview all of you because I've read so many fantastic profiles, so many fantastic individuals. And I honestly do believe that every person has the ability to become a unicorn and every person has the ability to be the best version of themselves. I want to talk to all of y'all. Every person brings something to the table, whether you or not. I've learned amazing stories from episode 1 all the way to episode 80. And I can't wait to reach episode 100 and so on and so forth. It's been an amazing process. And as always, it develops as I go, and you might have seen a little bit of it in the past 3 episodes where you're like, "Wait, what's going on? Jaime is throwing me up for a loop." First, he started going on with he's bringing in guests, and then he starts bringing in solo episodes, and then he starts bringing in this unicorn roundup. What the heck? The last couple months have been pretty hectic to say the least. So I didn't have time to record an episode to explain the shifts. So I just decided to roll the dice and just throw it at y'all. And based on the comments that I've received and based on the feedback, it's been a lovely experience. So I make no regrets. But I do apologize if it did throw anybody in a loop. But essentially, I did incorporate a new aspect into the podcast called a unicorn roundup. And this is because I have had such an amazing time talking to all these unicorns that I interviewed. And I said, why not bring them back and have them talk on specific topics that some of the clients that I've worked with are having trouble with. And some of y'all are probably also having trouble with. I reached out to the unicorns and I said, hey, do y'all want to come back and talk on a specific topic in a panel interview? And they said, yeah. I was super ecstatic. That it worked out. I was really nervous. Again, imposter syndrome was like kicking in, and I was like, who am I to be asking all these talented individuals to come onto my podcast and take their time? Because all of this is free. I am not paying anybody. They're not paying me. And the most I can do is help them by advertising everything that they do out to the world and showing the world that they exist and that they're doing amazing things every single day. All of this is, I just have to stress that it is done because we want to help and share our wisdom to all of y'all. And we really do believe the cause of helping everybody thrive and help change the world to become a better place, one person, one day at a time. And that is something that is one of my true missions in life, is to really leave an imprint where people can continue take lessons from all these individuals and wonderful people and really just apply it to their everyday life. There's something that we can all learn as we listen to stories that everybody else has gone through and really see
hey, maybe I've also gone through that. Or you're like, I've never gone through that, but I remember a time that my friend went through that. Maybe this will help them. Or you're in the future and you come into a circumstance where you're like, wow, I actually remember that one story that the other individual said that I could apply this lesson here. And you just never know. Like, as life, it works in a very weird way. I feel that we're all exposed to things that we need to be exposed to at that time. And we meet certain people in our lives for a reason. So I'm digressing. Sorry, my ADHD. But overall, the unicorn roundup, I decided to bring all of them back, and it was a fantastic experience. Started off with Myra, Celeste, and Yvette, and doing a wonderful leadership topic for Unicorn Roundup. And if you haven't seen it, it's such a fantastic episode, and you learn so much on leadership and how to become a great leader and how to get into a leadership position if you are interested in going in that route. And then I have an interview group panel with Savannah Hawk and David Hiron, and they're from two completely different seasons, never met each other before, and they were brilliant in being able to share their experience on self-identity and self-acceptance and how it is being queer in today's world and what we can do to accept ourselves. So it was a very fun, and it hit home for me in that conversation, and there was a lot of good things that were mentioned in there that I hope y'all took to heart and can learn from as well. And lastly, I invited all my family and friends, not all, but a good chunk. And we did a family topic and also talked about breaking the glass ceiling. That was a very fun conversation to have. I am going to throw in a lot of that into the mix in next season for season 3, which will come in the new year. So probably next week. So it will be right around the corner. If you are curious to what's gonna come up there, I would have you go check out the trailer for season 3, which should be out today, and it will have more information on season 3, what to expect. I am changing the schedule around a little bit, so I do encourage you to check it out just to get up to date and get ready for season 3. Overall, it has been a fantastic experience, and once again, thank you everyone for listening in. You do not understand how appreciative I am even when one person listens to the podcast, let alone thousands. And it has made my day to make your day and to teach people things every single day. I do want to end the year with an important lesson that I have learned time and time again. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I do have a little bit of a raspy voice. This is the last week of December, the last week of 2023, and it's been a doozy. I have been working myself really hard because I'm working on a few projects for my 9 to 5 job along with my life coaching job. And it's been insanely hard. And I don't think I've shared it on here, but I am decided to start 2024 with a bang, and I started training for a marathon. And I set small micro goals for myself by running a 5K, a 10K, half marathon, and then the full marathon. And my first race is in January 1st. So in a few days, and I have been training for about a month and a half for the 5K. And for those that don't know, I am not a runner. I despised running, and I I don't know, I just decided one day, "Hey, I wanna do this goal," and I do know why. I A few years ago, in like around 2012, there's a movie that came out called Brittany Runs Marathon, and oh boy, that is the movie that I watch over and over again because it consistently inspires me to want to do more and to challenge myself and test the boundaries and not just be okay with mediocre in my life. If that doesn't make me happy, I need to fix it. And that movie just really inspired me, and it was based off of a true story of a young lady who just wasn't that okay with her body and was not okay with her life and her life choices, and decides to run a marathon. And she trains and trains and finally does it. And I said that was such an arc in her life, and it changed her into this beautiful human being. And I wanted to experience that, and I wanted to test my mental endurance to see that I can do something like that. I've accomplished quite a few feats in my life, and I feel like this is the next challenge that I want to really push myself to the next limit. Between all of that, it's been crazy. I've been super stressed and my body gave up. I've been training every day, going running 3 miles, as close as 3 miles as I can around the beach. And it's been raining and it's been cold. And I did try to do the responsible thing by staying hydrated, eating well, and by taking care of myself by putting on sweaters and sweats and staying warm so I don't like over shock the body. But I don't know if it was past people I was passing as I was running, or if it was the cold, or I got exposed somewhere else. But I got super sick. I thank goodness it was not COVID, but it was a hefty cold. And it just knocked me out. It just knocked me out. I have not felt that sick in a long time. And it was insane because I was like shivering, my whole body was sore, my chest cavity was just felt like it was gonna come off. My my spinal cord just felt like it was like in its last end. And I was just like, this is it. I don't know what's going on. So I had to stop training. I had to stop doing everything. I had to take sick days and it just really slowed me down. And it just taught me that something that I teach all my clients. And here I am teaching myself the same lesson again, that you need to listen to the signs when your body needs rest. You can't continue to push yourself, burning the candle on both ends every single day and expect you to go on like that forever. When we're young, we feel that we are invincible, that we can conquer the world, no one can stop us. And even though some of that can be true, just because you can doesn't mean that you should every single day. Productivity is a two-sided coin. You can be productive by doing, and you can be productive by intentionally resting. By putting rest as a priority in your schedule, you're showing your body that you care for it and that you are allowing it to rejuvenate, to re energize itself, to relax and calm down. There is something that I realized as I've been working with some recent clients, that when I say rest, most of us think, oh, I'm going to sleep. That's my rest. Or when I say self care, they think I'm going to go pamper myself and I'm going to go take care of myself by doing my nails, by doing my hair, by buying myself new clothes, retail therapy. That's not what I mean by self care or rest. You need to be in a restful state, an intentional restful state. And you need to do something that will heal your inner soul, your inner child, the inner you. Something that's going to make you happy, something that's going to help you just take a deep breath, be in the moment. It's so easy for us, especially today, to be so glued to technology, to watching the shows on Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Max, being on X, being on TikTok, being on Pinterest, being on Snapchat, being on Facebook, MySpace if people still use that. But there's so many options for us out there, and we want to feel so interconnected because we don't want to feel left out, that we feel this pressure of wanting to watch them all and be on all the platforms and try to keep up with everybody. But we forget to keep up with ourselves and put ourselves first, and just taking a break, reading a book, doing some yoga, some meditation, going out for a walk, playing with your pets, go hanging out with your family, your friends, your significant other, and cherishing the people that are the things that you value most in life. The way that you truly rest is by identifying what are your values, what are the things that you're passionate for, and why do you wake up every single day? Why are you doing what you're doing? There has to be a reason. You don't just go to work just to go to work. You don't have to go to work. We want to survive, but why are you surviving? Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the big goal? What is the end goal? Where do you see yourself? You answer these questions by figuring out what do you value in life. For me, I value my family. I value my friends. I value my time. I value my pets and aim to be a better person every single day. Learn from my mistakes and try to expand myself to leave an impact on a person every single day, whether it be by simply passing by and leaving with a smile, or just being the most energetic person at that work meeting that nobody wants to go to, or trying to be the person that stays positive during turmoil when everybody else is angry, or being that person that can lend their shoulder when you need not someone to cry on. Whatever I can do to help someone else be at a better spot that they were if they were doing it alone, then that's my purpose, that's my values, that's my mission. That's what gets me up every day. So by knowing that, I know how to rest. Because if I'm consistently doing that during my restful period, then I'm not resting. Let's be honest. I'm still working. I'm still pushing my body. How many of you have said, today's my rest day, and I'm going to sit in front of the TV and work on my homework because it's my rest day and homework is not that much work to do. Or today's my rest day, so I am going to work on that one project from work I've been procrastinating that is not really going to take that much time, but I can multitask while I'm watching TV because it's my rest day. No, you're not resting. Your mind is still in the process of thinking of getting the stuff done. So you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be resting, not working. You have to divide the time between when you're going to work and when you're going to rest. And it's hard. I'm not going to lie. Look, I got sick because I did not follow my own damn rules. And it's hard because you want to accomplish so much, but there's so little time in the day. And you want to be this super person, but you want to be the unicorn, but it's hard because there's so many things that we want to do. And don't take ambition as a bad thing. Keep it. Keep wanting to do all these things, these beautiful things, but take time for yourself. Take time to listen to your body. I'm going to tell you a little story. I had the privilege of presenting at a conference a few weeks ago, thanks to actually Yvette giving you a shout out, my unicorn. She helped me get connected to this conference, and I was able to go out there and present to 9 to 12th graders. And they were it was a mass conference. It was males achieving success. So there were all males, 9 to 12th graders. Majority of them were Latino. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them were. It was the first time I had the opportunity to present to a population that was that many Latinos and Latino men. I talked about bringing laughter into your life to really conduct self-care and reducing stress. I started the story, which is the story I'm going to tell you right now. And these young individuals were flabbergasted by the end of the story that they came in bundles. Like they came in rushed into the podium and asked me questions and were just like so glued onto what I was talking after that it repassioned and even reminded me why I'm doing what I'm doing and why rest is so important and why am I even teaching this. Let me stop fluffing it up. Here's the story. When I was 18 and I was going through high school, I wasn't poor, but I wasn't middle class. My family made enough for us to get by. However, in 2009 or 2008, I don't remember exact dates, my father, who co-owned a carpentry company with my uncles and his father, their company burned down. Somebody maliciously went in and burned down the company. And that was all of our income. That everybody worked at that company. And we went through being very comfortable to not having weeks where all we ate was beans and rice every single day, and we had to ration our portions, and we didn't know how we were gonna pay bills. My mom was used to be a stay-at-home mom, and my dad forced her to go to work because we could not make enough money. And then he had the conversation with me if I can work at the shop, like at the makeup shop that they made to make up more money for it with them on the weekends and after school. I did not want to be a carpenter, and I grew up being a carpenter and I did not like it. So I decided to get certified as a lifeguard, and I started part time, and ended up working full time under the table. So the way it worked was, and before I even start with that schedule, something for you to know is I was a very ambitious kid. Surprise. I had 0 period all the way to 8th period, which means that I had 8 classes every single day, Monday through Friday. And the reason for that is because I wanted to get some college credits, I wanted to be competitive, stand out, yada. I had 8 periods. I had water polo, I was in swim team, I did cross country for a minute, I did wrestling for a minute, I was in drama club, I was president of 2 clubs, the American Cancer Society and the Humanitarian Club, and I was part of some other clubs in high school. I was involved in several different things. And it was insane because after I did all that, I would go straight to work. My mom would drop me off. I would work my hours as a lifeguard in the evenings, teaching classes and lifeguarding. And on the weekends, that's all I would do is just work full time, like 8-hour days. And sometimes I would call in sick just to go cover a shift from school. It was insane because there was a point where my mom was in debt with credit cards because we couldn't eat, so she was racking up debt on Target, Walmart, and I was paying off those credit cards, and if I didn't pay off those credit cards, then we wouldn't eat. So, I was pitching in for the mortgage, I was pitching in, and my dad would ask a lot of me. Like, when he saw the money coming in, he would ask me to work more hours, and I started getting super stressed out. The first signs was my left eye started twitching super bad, and I started having random muscle spasms throughout my body where it would just randomly twitch. And I thought it was like normal. I was 17, 18 years old. I was on maybe 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day, where my coffee habit started. And I was trying to do it all. And I was young and I felt I could do it all. I didn't see why not. I just keep going, and it's only until I graduate and go to college, only until I graduate and go to college. And there was this one summer, and I remember it very specifically, where I was on the guard stand and I was just thinking of everything that I had to do that day, everything that I had accomplished that summer before I entered my senior year of high school. I stopped losing sensation in my face. I just couldn't feel my face anymore. And I looked over and I was like, is this heat exhaustion? What's going on? I call a lifeguard over and I said, "Hey, can you please cover me? Because I'm feeling tired." And they come over, they do the switch. And as I get off the guard stand and I do the procedure to switch out, I'm walking towards the break room and I almost collapse. My legs almost give up on me. It was a scary moment. I was like, what the heck is going on? I started losing sensations in my legs too. Like I couldn't feel my ankles anymore. And it was like a tingly sensation. My body was not doing the what it was supposed to be doing. I started to low key panic, and I said, "What? Maybe I am going through heat exhaustion. First thing I need to do is cool down my body. So let me run to the locker room and just take a quick cold shower, and hopefully that will help. And I'll drink some water." All the lifeguards were on deck. I go out by myself to the locker room, and I only had 15 minutes break, so I was like, "Let me just do this fast." I run, take off my clothes, go into the guard locker room. Once the cold water hit my body, I hit the floor. I lost sensation in all my body. For a quick 5 minutes, I had passed out. The next thing I remember is that I opened my eyes and my body is constricted itself into this ball in this fetal position, shaking like rapidly to the point where I started seizing, but I was conscious. So it wasn't a seizure. And I just start thinking, I think I'm dying. I was so scared. It was one of the most scariest times of my life. I was alone in the shower, naked, practically drowning with the shower water hitting my face because I could not move and I was slamming my head on the concrete floor. Minutes later, my boss comes in looking for me because it was my turn to rotate the lifeguards. She sees me, rapidly comes over, calls the ambulance, and I pass out. And the next thing I remember, all of my coworkers were watching me as the ambulance was putting me on the gurney, and they were trying to resuscitate me because they thought that that was it. And I came to, and I had all these patches on me. My boss was there, everybody was there. I was still freaking naked. And the first thing I said is, "Can you please put a towel over me?" And they did. And the second thing I said was, "What the heck happened?" I explained my whole symptoms to the paramedics. And as everybody was clearing out, they like sat me up and said, "We think you just had an anxiety attack." You have to understand that growing up Latino, you're not taught what anxiety and depression is. These things are not conversations you have. What you're told, especially if you're a man, you just have to keep going, mijo. You have to be strong. You can't cry. You don't talk about your emotions. That's for women. Men don't do that. You have to keep going. You have to be the strong one. You're told that you just have to keep going through it. And it's such a toxic trait to adapt, to suppress your emotions, to not consider your self care, to not consider your body, and just keep pushing until you die. Because if you have time to rest, then you are lazy. That's what my dad used to always tell me. If you have time to sit down on the couch and watch TV, then you're doing something wrong in life and you're failing. He used to always guilt me and tell me that. Don't you think that I would want to go sit down and do nothing on TV and what on the couch? Don't you think I just want to sit down and do nothing and watch TV? Who are you to think you have this privilege when the rest of your family is working their ass off and you're over here doing nothing, being like a lazy piece of shit? And that always stuck with me. I go back to the story. All of that kind of came back to mind, and I asked the paramedic, "What is an anxiety attack?" And he says it's when you put so much stress emotionally and physically on your body that your body decides to give up. And it can cause you to get sick. It can cause you to mimic seizures, heart attacks, strokes. You can get mentally ill. You can develop very severe physical, mental, and even social things to your body. So you need to take care of yourself. Luckily, this was the first time I ever had it, so they didn't take me into the hospital. But they said if it happened again, that they would have to. I had about 6 other anxiety attacks that year, and I was rushed to the hospital. My mom was severely concerned, and she put the stop on everything. If it wasn't for my mother, I think I would have worked myself to death because my father didn't care. He wanted me to keep going. He enjoyed the fact that I was bringing income, but that's a story for another time. You have to understand that just because you can doesn't mean you should. This can happen to anybody. You have to understand that once you have that first anxiety attack, your body is marked. Your body will continue to have anxiety attacks as a way that it learned how to reduce stress for you because you're not doing it. The last time I had an anxiety attack was 5 years ago. But before that, I was going strong for a good 5 years without having an anxiety attack because I learned the skills that I'm gonna talk about today that hopefully will help you. Once again, we're all human and it happens, but I wish that on no one because it is a horrific experience if you haven't had one, and be blessed that you don't ever get one. But there's ways to avoid to get to that point. And like I said, you need to listen to your body for the small little feelers of what's going on. The little eye twitches, the headaches, the fatigue, the constant hunger. Even after you've eaten, you feel like you have to keep going back to the kitchen and feed it because, or the lack of appetite. So it could be the opposite. Your body's refusing to eat because of all the stress that you're going through. The need to sleep, and you sleep and you sleep and you don't feel rested. All of these are signs that your body is experiencing high levels of anxiety. Things what you can do to relieve anxiety. First aid 101. Whenever it comes to burns, take your hand off the source, take your body off the source that's burning you. Same thing with anxiety. Take yourself away from the place that's causing anxiety. If work's causing anxiety, take the damn PTO. Take the damn vacation. Take a mental health day. Remove yourself from the places causing you the stress. Easier said than done, I understand. But one day of you taking for yourself will do wonders for your mental health. I promise you. Do something that you enjoy. Go out, like I said earlier. Remember your values. What do you value? Go do something that is true to your values, away from the sign of stress. If you own a business and that's causing you stress, then take a break. Every day doesn't have to be your 100. You deserve a break too. Your business is not going to shut down if you take 1 day break. If the stress is taking care of a family member, or the stress is taking care of your child, or you're just taking care of your pets and that's stressing you out, then ask for help. Ask a friend, ask a colleague, hire a nanny, whatever you can. Ask your neighbor, can you please just take care of my child for an hour so that I can take a bath? Whatever it may be, somebody that you trust, ask for help. Help them reduce the load. It will do you wonders. If you're stressful of your financial situation right now, everybody's freaking stressed about our finances because our homes are too small, or we don't have enough money for groceries, we don't have money because of inflation. Then do something that's going to take that away. Not everything in life is going to cost you money to do. You can walk to the park, you can go to the beach, you can go to a library, you can go to a museum, you can drive around and just sightsee. You can go visit your friend. You can go to an animal shelter and just pet all the pets and volunteer there. There's so many things that you can do to kick yourself out that costs zero to no money and still be able to give yourself a break. Whatever it is that's causing you your stress and your anxiety, just take a little bit of a break. You're going to be fine, babes. You're going to be fine. The world's not going to end. I promise you, the world is not going to end if you decide to take 1 day every now and then for yourself. It is not selfish to have self care. It is not selfish for you to rest. You deserve it. You are an amazing unicorn that can do anything that you set your mind to it. But you can't go at 100 every single day. Rest today so that you can go 100 tomorrow. It's better for you to take intentional breaks before your body tells you that I'm going to take over because you're not paying attention to what I'm telling you. Thank you again for listening in. This was a wonderful conversation and a wonderful experience and a great way to end 2023. Again, I adore all of you for listening in and for taking the time to really join me on my journey and being here and choosing to listen to me is such a blessing. I want everybody to do me a huge favor and do something great for yourself these next few days before the new year hits. Take care of yourself. Give the gift of rest, of self-care. Start the year with a good intention that you're going to take care of yourself in 2024. That 2024 is going to be the year that you put yourself first and that your priorities, your needs, your wants will come first. Now, don't be narcissistic and don't be over here shoving everybody else out of the way. That's not what I'm saying here. Put yourself first before you help others. You need to take care of yourself first, babe. That's the way to do it. Bless all of you. I hope everybody has a wonderful New Year's Eve, wonderful New Year's Day, and let's start 2024 great. Thank you again for listening. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, leave us a 5-star review. I always appreciate this. And if anyone who will benefit from this podcast, then hit that share button and send it to them all. That's another goal of mine, is try to reach as many unicorns as possible next year. And next year is going to be a great year. Love you all, babes. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Finding the Unicorn in You podcast. I truly appreciate you listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and gained valuable insights. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review on your favorite platform. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. Until next time, this is Dr. Jaime Gabriel Raygoza signing off.